tonight's favorite is going to be salmon over an alder plank. We're going to do that over charcoal, so it's going to help draw out that flavor out of the plank. We're then going to top it off with a red wine sauce. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get started making that sauce. Now this will be pretty easy. We're going to get it started in the pan here. And then what we'll do is we'll cook it, we'll let it condense down. And then what will happen is we're going to take it out, put it on some saran wrap, and then roll that up and put it in the freezer for a couple of hours. So let's get started right away. First, I've already taken the liberty of measuring everything out and chopping up some of the shallots. So we're going to put some shallots in the pan here first. So let's go ahead and add those. We've got a 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar that we're going to pop in here. And of course, everybody's favorite, oh yes, 1/2 cup of red wine. Of course, don't worry about the measurements. If you want to put in a little bit more, feel free to do that. Take a little sample yourself. Let's go ahead and get this started up. And we're going to go ahead and let this heat up on medium heat. And then we're going to end up reducing it to about half. All right, we let our mixture reduce in half. And by the way, for the shallots, I added about 1/4 to 1/3 of a shallot. If you'd like more shallots, feel free to add in addition to that. So with this cool mixture, what we're going to do is we're going to add some crushed pepper. We're going to add about 1.5 teaspoons of fresh thyme. 1/2 stick of butter here. Just throw that right on in there. And then we're going to mix this all together into one nice little mixture. Stirring it all. The piece of this is that you want it to freeze, because what we're going to do is we're going to cut off some of the pieces of it and we'll put that on our salmon. When the salmon's all done, it'll melt very nicely on there. So let's go ahead and just put some of that right in the center of this. Notice how thick that is. A little bit of goo with it, but that's all right. Pat it around a little bit. We'll go ahead and fold in this end here, and we'll fold that together. Kind of shape it up a little bit so it'll look nice. And we cut it off. Twist the ends up here and twist the ends up there, and there we go. And like I said, we're going to put that in the freezer for a couple hours, and we'll be back when that's done. Alright, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and light this fire. Now, the worst thing you can do, the worst thing is to use lighter fluid. So what I have is one of these chimneys that fill full of charcoal and then paper on the bottom. As you can see, we just light it. And this fire, it'll probably be ready to hit in probably about 20 minutes or so. So we'll check back. Alright, we've got the fire going, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take this alder plank, which I've had soaking for about 45 minutes to an hour. And this is a smaller size. If you get the bigger ones in the store, you certainly can cut it. I don't want to waste it because you can't reuse these again. This is going to go right on the fire, and what we're going to do first is we're going to take a little bit of olive oil, pour a little bit on top of that, because what we don't want is our fish to stick, and we'll just smear that on there like that. And then we'll take the salmon. Now I've rinsed the salmon, and one thing you want to make sure is you pat it dry. So we're going to put some spices on top of that. The other thing, if you notice, that what I've done is I've left the skin on the salmon. What I have found is I've tried salmon before where you have where the skin has been taken off, and it just doesn't quite get that aroma that you need it to have, and I think it's because the skin brings some of that out in it. I'm going to put light, just a very light dose of some seafood seasoning on here that we have. And then what we're going to do is we're going to let this rest, bring it up to room temperature, and by the time this is ready, then I suspect that our fire is going to be ready to go to put it on. Okay, as you can see, our charcoal is ready. You can see the nice ash over the top of it. And again, I didn't use any lighter fluid on this. That would just ruin the taste. So now we're going to go ahead and put the salmon on. It's on the plank. And lay it right in the middle there like that. Then we're going to take the top of the grill and put the grill back on it, or the lid back on top of the grill, that is. And we're all set, all covered up. Let's go in and work. All right, I just took the salmon off the grill. Man, you can really smell that coming through that great alder. In fact, I can still hear it sizzling. Some people want to know when it's, when it's ready. I always check it a little bit when it's a little firm. You got to remember, it's also going to continue to cook while it's sitting here. So it's been resting. I also snuck in a little sourdough bread right on the grill. Toasted that right next to the salmon. So let's go ahead and plate this up. I'm going to go ahead and take it right off the cedar plank. You can see how easy that came off. Set that right in here. Boy. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to eat right now. Put some of these vegetables right here on the side. Sauteed. Oh my goodness. This is going to be great. Wish you could be here to join me. A little bit of that. I'm going to put some piece of sourdough right on the corner here. And what we want to do is put a little bit of this just for some presentation. And I'm going to run to the freezer real quick and I'm going to go grab the butter. So I'll be right back. And if you remember, we've had this butter in the freezer for quite a few hours. So I'm just going to go ahead and unwrap it. Take it off of here. Then what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to go ahead and just cut the ends off here a little bit so we can get a nice bit of butter. And we're going to just cut a couple of little pieces like that. We're going to lay that right here on top of that salmon, maybe 2 little pallets of butter like that. As you can see, here's our salmon. We've got the wine butter on top of it, our medley of vegetables, a little sourdough bread, a couple little raspberries for the presentation. Alright, I'm ready to dig in. I don't know about you. And normally, with fish you think about a little Chardonnay, but because we've got this special butter that we made here, I'm going to go ahead and pour a little bit of red wine. I know that's probably going to upset a few of you, but that's alright. I'll pour an extra glass in case you decide to join me. This is Gerry with another dinner that you can make. This took us about an hour, a little bit of prep time with it, easy to do. If I can do it, you can too.